Alright, welcome back to how to make hero FPS concepts. Today we're going to be going through alphabetically wave 1, going through all the heroes in wave 1, starting alphabetically with Aiden, our first support hero. Role is Aid, as you can see in the top corner right here. Playstyle Splash, because its primary is a biotic grenade launcher similar to Baptista from Overwatch 2. Description is Surgeon, because in real life Aiden is a surgeon. He is a doctor in New Delhi. He is Indian born. He was born in India. We'll get into more of his story later on down here because we are going to be adding 2 new factors, one to our stat system and one to our actual hero concept designing, and that is story. Now, you don't have to write a story all fleshed out and such. You can just have little cliff notes over here, but I actually do have a full story for Aiden, which we'll talk about at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. We're also going to be adding effects. As you can see down here, next to laughing gas, there is a parenthesis with a asterisk, nausea. That is the effect that laughing gas cause. So we'll be adding effects to our attacks, and they'll be represented by a little star icon. And we'll be adding that star icon to our stat block. So stay tuned for that. Speaking of our stat block, let's move over and convert our vertical stat block in our Google Sheet over here. Aiden 200, health as you can see. We have his ability types, and we're going to be converting this to our horizontal. So of course, Aiden is our hero name. Our description is Surgeon, as we discussed. Playstyle is Splash, due to his use of a biotic grenade launcher. This is called the Pill Pusher, which we'll put right here. And since it is a splash attack, as we saw before, the red, as we saw, so we are going to add this Pill Pusher in red, and he is going to have a passive attack, Pulse Punch. His melee attack with his left arm has a knockback effect. So, like I said, we're going to be adding these asterisk effects. Instead of typing the word knockback, I use the 2KB. You can also use KO because it has kind of the same effect, except knockout is not the same as knockback. So you can use KB if you don't want to write knockback. It's totally fine. There's other abilities such as pushback and blowback, which are lesser and stronger versions of knockback that I just shorthand to PB and BB. Anyway, Pulse Punch, which is the same as Strong Arm. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's Strong Arm here. Interesting. So we have an ability that I put down earlier for this character that I did not put in the slide. At least I don't see it. So this must have been an ability that I scrapped once I developed the character further in the slides. We'll still be adding it to our stat block as usual. I'll actually put it here so I remember. Strong Arm is just a melee punch, so of course it's going to have the purple color denoted by a melee. But of course we also have Pulse Punch. Pulse Punch is a melee attack, so it is going to go as a melee as well in the purple color. Another melee attack, Stickler. Stickler, we'll see here, melee attack for a close range protection that does 125 damage. As a surgeon, I thought it would be best for him to be carrying some sort of wooden stick, similar to the wooden stick that you stick down people's throats to check their throats and put their thumb down their tongue so they can check the throat. The Stickler is going to be probably one of the few damage icons, because as you can see, Aiden's Pill Pusher has a plus icon on the sheet. This denotes that this only heals, does not do damage. So Aiden does need something to do damage, so I'm assuming that's why I gave him a Pulse Punch melee ability and a Stickler ability. The Stickler does 125 damage, so usually I'd give it 8 seconds, but I only gave it 2 seconds. That's because the Stickler is one of the few things Aiden has to protect himself if he's ever attacked. So that's probably why I gave it 2 seconds of cooldown instead of just 8. Moving on, we have Rocket Leg. Rocket Leg mobility use Rocket Jump. So of course, since Rocket Leg does some damage, but isn't primary used for damage, it has some It has some damage that he used similar to Winston's Hop in Overwatch, how he does somewhat damage people as he lands. Rocket Leg is mostly a mobility item, but it does do some damage. Moving very quickly, we have IV Pump. Pumps 5 health packs into the nearest ally. It's a healing for an ally, so of course we're going to give it the light gold color. Then we have Vitamin Water, and that is a self-heal, so similar to what we did for Camille X. In the later video, we have Canopy here, and we're going to give that a neon yellow color because of self-healing. And of course, HP is 200, as we saw on the slide. And the vertical stat block shows health is 200, so of course we're going to add our HP over there as usual. Next ability, Laughing Gas, launches a canister of it's just laughing gas. If you've ever been to the doctors, laughing gas just makes you a little bit silly and a little bit loopy. So of course we're going to have laughing gas here. And it's going to be, since it's a gas, it's going to be in our poison category because it does damage over time. Syringe Tri-Pistol. Yes, a healing pistol with 3 shots. So of course, it's like a pistol that shoots 3 syringes that heal allies. And that is going to be a melee because of course it is a pistol type of gun. And I think our final ability set. Laughing Gas, IP Pump. Nope, that's it. Alright, so that is going to be all of our abilities. Oh, set for ultimate. IV Flood, of course. IV Flood is going to be a map-wide thing. He floods the map in IV fluid, and the IV fluid gives all allies that step in it some shield. So it's total amount of shield that it spreads across the map and spreads across just the map in general. So when allies walk over this fluid, they gain passive shields with a total of 4,500 shielding spread out across the entire map. So that's going to do it for Aiden's stat block. Now let's move into the story section. So I had this Cliff Notes version just to show you. You want to develop a story for each of your characters, but you don't have to make it that in detail just yet. When you're making the concept, you really don't know if your concept's going to be accepted. So you don't want them to have too big of a story just in case, but you definitely want them to interact with other characters if at all possible. For Aiden's story, his left arm is cybernetic via the pulse punch. That's why his pulse punch does knockback, because it's cybernetic, after it was ripped apart during a fight with Camille X at a Green Corp conference. So when you do this, you have to establish why this happened. Obviously, a very violent event. What is the Green Corps? Green Corps is a world peace organization funded by a billionaire, Bill Ryder, who does environmentally destructive products. Camille X lived in a forest with her mother and sister. Their homes were seized by the British government for remodeling. Stuff that happens. One of Ryder's plants set the forest ablaze, killing her mother and sister. So now you can see the connection. Camille X is angry at Bill Ryder, who funds the Green Corps, which Aiden is a part of. Case in point, Camille X tried killing Bill Ryder while he was speaking, but Aiden protected him, so in the attempt to try and kill Bill Ryder, Camille X had to get through Aiden, so she ripped his arm off before fleeing the police. So that's how he got a cybernetic arm. He was a surgeon. He operated on himself after he lost his arm. That's probably why he got so good at surgery, because he had to figure out what he had to trust himself so much to operate on himself to give himself a new cybernetic arm. And how he got that arm? Being in the Green Corps, which is funded by a billionaire, as most organizations worldwide are at this time, and he was trying to protect his billionaire fundee, who is a really terrible person. As you can see, does environmentally destructive projects, but the Green Corps apparently doesn't know that. Bill Ryder may have some things in the background. He's definitely a little bit of a character. You'd have to full flesh out, because he's technically, you can see the villain arc is being displayed, and of course Camille X trying to kill Bill Ryder for understandable reasons. One of his plants set a forest ablaze, killing her mother and sister, so she's got motivation, okay motivation, and Bill tries to kill Bill Ryder. Aiden stands in the way and gets his arm ripped apart. So that's why he's got a cybernetic arm, and that is called story. You've added story to your character. Why is Pulse Punch not just a normal melee attack? Because it's a cybernetic arm. Why does he have a cybernetic arm? Because it was his normal arm was ripped apart by Camillix in a story arc established here. Alright, so that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like it, and I'll see you guys next time. Toodaloo!